Welcome students to another lecture in the series. Let's continue with Unit 3. We have studied the concept of budgets and budgetary control in the previous class. Let us have a look to the further concepts relating to it. So here we are about to start the budget administration. Budget administration refers to that how do we create budgets, how the process of budgeting goes on in an organization, how the things are being followed. So we do have certain prerequisites so that we can have a successful implementation of a budgetary control system. So for that we have certain steps that I have mentioned here. The first step under that we have is creation of budget centers. You know that it is the world of specialization. So here a budget center is a section of the organization of an undertaking for which a separate budget is being prepared. A budget center may be a department or a part of thereof. So budget center must be clearly defined because a separate budget has to be set for each center with the help of head of the department concerned. Like if I take example here, preparation of purchase budget, the purchase manager has to be consulted. Then next we have introduction of adequate accounting records. This is again important because this should be so designed so as to able to record and analyze the required information. The budget procedures must also employ the same classification of revenues and expenses as the accounting department. Comparisons cannot be made if the classification do not coincide. Next we have preparation of organization chart. Proper organization is essential for a successful budget system, and that I can show you as an example on the next slide. Here you can see this is a sample of an organization chart, that how it would appear from managing director to budget committee to budget director to all the departments, and then the further sections of each department can be discussed and can be considered under this budget chart. This is the organization chart, so it should be prepared with that budget chart that I just showed you, that this kind of hierarchy should be prepared with the exact scope of the authority and responsibility and the relationship to the other members. Okay, then next we have establishment of budget committee. This is a very important step because in large organizations the direction and execution of the budget is delegated to a budget committee, which further reports directly to the top management. So the financial controller is usually appointed to serve as a budget director. He is in charge of the to prepare the budget manuals of instructions and accumulate the budget and actual figures for the reporting. The other members of the budget committee usually comprise various heads of the functional departments like sales manager, purchase manager, production management, chief accountant, etc. Okay, then we have preparation of budget manuals that I was talking about. A budget manual, if I say how it is being defined, if I have a look to the definition given by CMA, it is a document which sets out responsibilities for the persons engaged in the routine of and the forms and records required for budgetary control. A budget manual is basically a statement of budget policies. It lays down the details of the organizational setup with duties and responsibilities of executives, including the budget committee and budget director, and the procedures and programs to be followed for developing budgets for various activities. Then we have budget period. Budget period is the length of time for which a budget is being prepared and operated. So budget periods may vary between short term and long term, and no specific period can be laid down for all the budgets. Every budget is having its own different uh, aspects. Then next we have determination of the principal budget factor key. Factor or key factor, basically budget factor or key factor. Okay, it is also known as limiting factor or governing factor, as the key factor means the factor which limits the size of the output. So it is defined as the factor, the extent of whose influence must first be assessed, or you can say calculated, in order to ensure that functional budgets are capable of fulfillment. So such a factor is of vital importance and affects all the budgets to a large extent. Then next in this part we have functional budgets to study. If I introduce, you may this we have already studied. See, functional budget is the one which relates to a particular function of the business that I was telling you about in the previous slides even. Like it can be sales budget, production budget, purchase budget. So these are the components of master budget. Specific functional budgets to be prepared in a business, they may vary from organization to organization depending on the requirement. The common types that we have here, let us have a look. Make yourself acquaint with the names mentioned here. Then we'll move forward and we will be discussing each and every of them individually. Some of them may even have numericals, so we will be doing them as well. If I make you acquaint with the names here, like we have sales budget, production cost budget, raw materials budget, purchases budget, labor budget, production overhead budget, selling and distribution cost budget, administration cost budget, cash budget, capital expenditure budget. From these names only you must have got the idea that what we are about to study in the next coming few lectures. So let us begin one by one. For today, let us begin with the sales budget. Let us see. See, sales budget is a statement of the planned sales in terms of quantity and value. It forecasts what the company can reasonably expect to sell to its customers during the budget period. The factors to be considered in forecasting sales, here I have mentioned few. If I just name them, we do need to consider past sales, reports given by the salesman, company conditions. Here company conditions refers to the position of your organization, that like if there is any change in the policies or methods of the company and their effects further on the sales. Like suppose this year the company might have planned to have an additional expenditure on advertisement, and then accordingly there would be effect on the sales as well. Then we have business conditions. It is like the economic conditions that is like in related to the business activities, and their effect on the company sales should also be considered. So information should be obtained from the market about the competing industries in order to calculate the strength of the competition, that up to what level we do have the competition, and about the customer requirements as well to determine their demands, etc. Then we have special conditions. Special conditions are like these are external factors which may affect an organization. Like at this moment we can see that pandemic has actually created a lot of problems for the organizations. Then we have market analysis. Some companies depend upon the market analysis and the research to measure the potential demand for their product. Such an analysis reports on the state of the market, the fashion trends, the type of products, design required, activities of the competitors, and other factors which may be having some bearing on the sales of the company. Okay. Then next in this we have production budget, second one. Some of them may have numericals and some of them may not have. They may have just the theory base. Like production budget, if I talk about, it is a plan for production of budget period. It is first drawn up in quantities, like for each product. When the remaining budgets have been compiled and the cost of production calculated, then the quantities of production cost are translated into money terms, which will further decide like what in effect becomes a production cost budget. Means in production budget you may define the quantities to be produced, and in the next budget, third type of budget that we will be studying, production cost budget, thereout you will be checking out with the costs. So production budget is the initial step in budgeting manufacturing operations. In addition to production budget, there may be other budgets also, like related to manufacturing. There may be raw material budgets, labor budgets, production overheads budget. So depending on the requirements, we may have them. Then we have production cost budget that I was telling you. So this budget shows the estimation of the cost of production. Production budget that we have studied in the previous slide, it shows the quantity. And these quantities of production are expressed in terms of cost in production cost budget. So it shows you the details in respect of the cost, material cost, labor cost, factory overheads. So it is based upon the budgets of like production budget, material cost budget, labor cost budget, or factory overhead budget. Let us have a numerical on this. You can see that they have given you the information is available from the records of some Precision Tools Limited for 6 months of 2009, and the sales of January 2010 are also given to us in respect of product X. Let us have a look. The units, number of units sold in different months are given to us. Then they are saying that there will be no work in progress at the end of any month. So finished units equal to half the sales of next month will be in stock at the end of every month, including June. These are the informations that we will be using. Then production, budgeted production and production cost for the year ending 31st December are given to us, 22,000 units. Direct material per unit is given as rupees 10. Direct wages per unit is given as 4. Total factory overheads apportioned to production is 88,000. So we need to prepare the budget, production budget and production cost budget for it. So let us have a look. First of all, how to prepare a production cost budget. You can see we have prepared the monthly budget, in which we have mentioned all the products here. See, we have utilized all the information given to us. Like if I see closing stock, they have mentioned that half of the sales of the next month will be the stock at the end of every month. So I have taken half of it accordingly. You can have a look to that. So this information is given in the question, and finally we can see the total. We do have 11,050 units after drawing up this. Then at the end you can see how to have the production budget. Total 11,050 units we have found through production budget because it expresses the quantity, and now we can calculate the cost. Direct material is at the rate rupees 10, direct wages at the rate rupees 4, production overheads are also given to us. Finally 1,98,900, and you can even check out that how we have obtained these factory overheads. Total they have given us for 88,000 for 22,000 units. So that ways we have used and calculated it. Now you may practice some production and production cost budgets. If you face any problem with that, you may write to me. Then in next class we will, or next video lecture, we will be starting with other categories of budgets. Till then, study well, take care.